Welcome to Eat Right by George, the healthy cooking show showing you healthy can be delicious. And speaking of delicious, today I'll be preparing eggplant stuffed with feta cheese with a tomato oregano sauce. And for this beautiful recipe, we are going to need one fresh eggplant. You'll need about a pound of feta cheese, half cup of mint and dill chopped. You know how I love my fresh mint and dill right from my garden. 1 egg, an onion, 2 cloves of garlic. We'll need about a couple tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We'll need a tablespoon of honey. I'm using pure Arhaon honey. A few slices of mozzarella cheese. A few tablespoons of oregano, dried oregano, and 2 cups of diced tomatoes, which I'll be showing you in a little bit how we're going to make this. So there's a couple different things for the stuffed eggplant. There's a few different steps that you need. First of all, you're going to need to take your eggplant and slice it. First, you're going to slice the top and bottom off. Then you're going to make thin slices with it and brush them with olive oil, which I did before the show. I brushed them with olive oil, popped them in the oven for about 10 minutes, just so they get nice and tender. As you can see, they're nice and tender so that I can stuff them. We're doing a little different type of stuffing. It's not exactly stuffing the inside of the eggplant. We'll be stuffing the pieces. So they get nice and tender from the olive oil. Put them in a little bowl. Put them aside once you're done. And next you can work on your filling. And our filling is going to consist of a feta cheese, which you take and mash with a fork. So you take a pound of feta cheese, and of course feta cheese is a lower fat cheese. It's a lot softer, has a lot of great flavor. And the nice thing about feta cheese is that you don't need to add salt because it already contains salt. So you don't have to add any salt to your dishes because the feta cheese already contains salt. And feta cheese used to have sheep's milk. Now it's just made from cow's milk pretty much. But it used to be sheep's milk and goat milk too, feta cheese, back in the old days. But it's a great cheese to use for filling. It has a lot of flavor. And I'm using imported feta cheese versus the type that you find in your local grocery store. I like to get it fresh from the deli. So if you can get a block of it, it tastes a lot better than something you just get from a plastic container. So as you can see, I've taken my feta cheese and used the fork to crush it. It's really easy to do. And I take 1 egg. And that's going to help to make it a little bit more moist. So I'm just taking my feta cheese and 1 egg, mashing it together, combining it. And as you can see, it makes it a lot more moist and easy to use when we're going to be stuffing our eggplant. Now once the egg is combined, I'm going to take a tablespoon of honey. And I'm using pure honey. This is imported Greek honey. It has a lot more flavor. It's not that it's sweeter, it's just much richer, as you can see. And it gives a much better flavor to your filling. So you're kind of getting that sweet and salty taste from the feta cheese together, make it a nice stuffing. And a couple dashes of oregano. fresh oregano. A little bit more there. Now you're going to combine this. Make sure to use your fork, get it all mashed up, get all those flavors in there. Quite simple, really simple stuffing to make. You don't even need a mixer for this. So once those are well combined, I'm going to put this aside. Make sure you have a teaspoon. And next I'm going to start with making our sauce. So we already have one step done. We have our stuffing for the eggplant done. Next we're going to make our tomato oregano sauce. And what you're going to need here is a couple tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin. Using all healthy ingredients here. Of course, extra virgin olive oil is excellent for your cholesterol. Want this on medium heat. Get your oil heated up. Next, I like to take one onion, and I'm just gonna slice it inside of our pan. Julienne strips. Oh, try to get it in the pan for the most part. This one's too thick. And onions caramelize and give off sweetness. Get these sauteed. As you can see, we have so many excellent ingredients we're using. The honey is excellent for your blood sugar. It's a lot better than trying to sweeten things with regular sugar. It's more natural. We're using fresh herbs instead of salt. We're using cheese. We're using the feta cheese. That's a form of dairy. And some dairy is supposed to be good for weight loss. If you're trying to lose weight, dairy has been shown to help because it contains calcium. Now next I have 3 cloves of garlic. So I'm just going to slice these over my pan. What I'm doing is taking off the little ends from the garlic. And remember, if you want to clean garlic, just give it a little whack and the shell should come right off. So I'm taking the ends off because those are hard. Put those aside. And then I'm just chopping our garlic. Sauteing it. And as you can tell, I use the garlic after. I didn't saute it first. I sauteed the garlic after I sauteed my onions because garlic can burn up pretty quick. It doesn't need as long cooking time as onions do. So I'm sauteing them. Once the onions are translucent, then you can start to add your tomatoes. Add some diced tomatoes. If you have fresh tomatoes, that's even better. You can dice those and add them. I have some diced tomatoes here. I'm going to add these with the juice. Oh yeah, we're cooking now. Add all those. Using about a medium heat. You don't want it too high. We're letting all those combine. The tomatoes are getting the flavor from the olive oil and the onions and garlic. They're such a great combination. And tomatoes are rich in vitamins A and C. They also contain a nutrient called lycopene. It's a plant nutrient. See, these are cooking. You want to probably keep it at a simmer. And once these simmer, the next step would be to chop up some fresh herbs. So what I have here is some fresh mint and dill that I chopped earlier, and I'm going to add that to my recipe here. They don't have to be real small pieces because what happens is when it's cooking they are going to shrink down. And as I have said so many times, I love cooking with fresh herbs. They smell so good. So I'm combining all my herbs in here. Gives it a beautiful color. And I'm going to finish this now with some oregano. I'm combining all these. And while the mint and dill, they kind of make a great combination together. Mint is sort of a fresh flavor, and then the dill has more of a dark flavor, deep flavor. Then the oregano gives it kind of an aroma, beautiful aroma. It goes very well with your tomatoes. Now you could add rice also to this to thicken it up more. If you want to add a little bit of rice, about a half cup, you could add rice to this and cook it as well. That's another option. And this is almost like a salsa for dipping chips, practically. You cooked it down more. So once again, we have our garlic, our onions in here, mint and dill. We have oregano. Bringing it to a simmer. And this is going to go on the bottom of our casserole dish. So what you need to have is a small casserole dish. You can have a larger one if you like. I like the smaller one myself. It's a lot easier to work with. So what I'm going to do is line the bottom of this casserole dish with our sauce. So you let it cook about halfway, and then it's going to cook the rest of the way in the oven. And what I've done is I've preheated our oven to 350 degrees. And it's so nice to make new things. I knew right by George we have never cooked with eggplant before. So this is something that I enjoy, doing something a little bit different. And many people have never even tried eggplant. Okay, so I brought this to a boil. I'm going to add it to my casserole dish on the bottom here. Such an easy recipe to make. The hardest part is just getting all the ingredients, I think. The rest of it is really simple. So we're lining our casserole dish. I would say this is also a great comfort food. If you're looking for comfort food, stuffed eggplant with tomato sauce, homemade, and fresh herbs. Be a perfect comfort food. Okay, so we got all our beautiful sauce here. Look how colorful. We have that in our casserole dish, nice and hot. Now I'm going to put this down for a second. And what I want to do next is show you how to stuff our eggplant, which is really easy. So you just take your eggplant, it's nice and tender, so it's easy to roll. You take a teaspoon of our mixture, just like this. You put it at the end of the eggplant fillet here and roll it up. Roll it and make sure the end is on the bottom. So once again, I'll show you and do the rest of them. You take the thickest part of your eggplant, not the thin part, which is the skinny part here. You take the thickest part, which is the bottom. You put your mixture there, about a teaspoon, not too much because you don't want them to leak out and explode. Roll it and leave the bottom part, which is the opening here, the tail, in the bottom. Such a wonderful dish, and it's, if you see the eggplants on sale at the grocery store, don't be afraid to get one and try it. Just get your eggplant here. And eggplant has so many health benefits as well. You might be wondering, why am I using eggplant? What's the health benefits of eggplant? Well, eggplant actually contains a lot of nutrients that can protect your heart. It's an anti-cancer food. It is actually a superfood. And I've even been seeing research studies that show that it protects brain cells as well. Eggplant has antioxidants that also preserve and protect your brain cells. So that's an even greater reason to use it on top of it all. Now I like to take and finish the eggplant that's been stuffed with the feta cheese mixture with just a small slice of low fat mozzarella cheese. So I'm just using one little piece, not a big piece. So I just took a block of mozzarella cheese and made little slices like this, putting that on top. Really simple. Just like this. Put them on top, and I've already preheated my oven, so I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 20 minutes. As you can see, they're just so delicious. You don't have to cover them. You pop those in the oven. Now, once those are ready to cook and they're come out of the oven, I like to take a clean plate and then I line the bottom with some of the sauce, and then I top our finished dish with a little sprig of mint, which I have, of course, from my garden, so I like to save a little bit for garnish. So as you can see, this is a very colorful dish. It's healthy and delicious, and it's something you can make in just a few minutes, really. Once you have all the ingredients all together, it's really simple to make. I also want to thank you for watching, and make sure to check us out on Facebook. Check out our Facebook page. Getting a lot of friend requests on there, people requesting recipes, people saying how much they enjoy Eat Right by George cooking show, because it gives them a healthy and delicious option, encourages people to cook more at home instead of buying things out. And especially in the summertime, there's a lot of fresh ingredients that are out there. Take advantage. Try using an eggplant. Try getting some newer types of vegetables that you have never cooked with before in order to make your diet more interesting. And there's a lot of farmers markets in the summertime where you can go and get some fresh produce, and You'll notice the difference between fresh produce that you would get, I think, at a farmer's market compared to just regular produce that you get at just any grocery store. You can tell the flavor is far superior many times when you get them from a farmer's market. So I like to go and visit some of the different farmers markets and try different types of vegetables and cook with them, get some neat recipes, and you might find a new family favorite. Family might enjoy eggplant. Maybe some members have never tried it before. This gives them an option for something different. So once again, for the eggplant that's been stuffed with feta cheese, I'll give you a little recap of it. You're going to need a tablespoon of honey, a pound of feta cheese, half cup of fresh mint and dill, a couple tablespoons of oregano leaves. You'll need 1 egg, an onion, 3 cloves of garlic, of course 2 cups of diced tomatoes. If you have fresh tomatoes from your garden, that's even better. So we use a couple cups of diced tomatoes, a few slices of mozzarella cheese for the topping, and of course 1 eggplant. And remember, when you're choosing an eggplant, choose one that's very smooth on the outside. As you can see, this one is nice and smooth and doesn't have any bruises or marks in it. It's just nice and smooth, so a beautiful eggplant. And then follow the recipe from here, from Eat Right by George. Pop it in the oven for about 20 minutes, and there you have it. Bon appetit. You have stuffed eggplant with tomato oregano sauce for your table. Thanks for watching Eat Right by George, how the cooking show showing you healthy can be delicious.